The consumer is willing to pay for content that they want to watch. It's still about finding that relationship between what people are looking for and what's provided to them. Live sports is definitely at the core of the conversation around whether people are willing or not to give up their broad service subscription, because live sporting events at the moment are harder to get if you don't have a cable satellite telco subscription. And so what are people willing to pay for? It depends. I think there are definite conversations around the disaggregation of the providers, but that's always been protected. It's been protected for the consumer, it's been protected by the government, where you can't cherry pick the channels. Now increasingly you have homes that are going to get connected TVs. Those connected TVs have apps. What are the apps going to become? Are the apps going to become portals for that content? Will you pay for an ESPN app at a certain price, and then you'll pay for an HBO app? And so maybe you'll be able to pick 13 or 14 channels that you would want to watch. But at the same time, if you're in a household with multiple people, that list is going to be different. And there's a point where if you pay individually per channel, it's going to end up being the same amount or more than if you pay for a regular subscription of cable where you have a multi-channel deal. So there's a price point. I will say I don't know what that price point is. I think that's part of the conversation that everybody, it's kind of a key piece of information that we'd all love to get our hands on, and it's a balance. And certainly looking at Netflix, people have added Netflix. That's an additional subscription to cable, satellite, telco. They have, to a certain extent, added Hulu Plus. That's additional dollars. Certainly when the internet was piped in, people added $40, $50 a month to their bills for internet access. So people are willing to pay to get content. Only 10% of households are broadcast only. Those people are not paying for television as we know it, as we think about it, living room set on the wall. Those people are not paying for it, but 90% of people are paying for content, traditional, on television, cable, telcos, satellite companies, but they're also paying for internet access. Roughly 75 to 80% of households have broadband access. So those people are paying, whether it's $40, $50, $60 a month to get access to the internet. Part of that pay structure that they've agreed to definitely gives them the entitlement feeling that they can have that free content. So there has to be a give and take between the consumer, distributor, about how you're delivering it and how you tighten the gaps in terms of making the money you need to make to deliver long-form content. Short-form content is different. You have user-generated content, which is different. You have the model of authentication. Today, Fox announced a deal with Verizon Fios that they would allow authentication through for their shows, and they had been really a proponent on the other sites to hold back their content to 8 days after the linear airing. It will be available the day after, as was reported today. So there's definitely an evolving monetization aspect to the content online and what people are willing to pay for. But